Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we are going to talk about some gold, silver and some copper exploration companies, some in North America and some in Africa. Now let's go right into it. The first one on the list is Dryden Gold. This is a company we have talked about a couple of times on this channel, but with the Iran war and these things, there's been a correction in the market and I still think they look attractive. Now why on earth should you care about Dryden Gold? Look at this. Look at this wonderful high-grade gold. Look at this. These are just some samples obviously, but what is also interesting with this company is the major shareholders are Alamos Gold, which is a major gold producer. About 5.4% of the shares are owned by the management and insiders, 9% owned by Centerra Gold, another producing gold company, and then some owned by Rob McEwen, which is one of the mining legends according to Rick Rule. And it seems like it's very interesting. It has tremendously high grade gold. I think this is the highest grade gold I've seen out of like several gold and like silver companies I've looked into. But this seems to have enormous potential, where this is like one example where apparently they had at the gold rock camp, there was like 3,400 grams of gold over 8 meters. That's 3 kilos of gold per ton. That's like insane. This is like one of the highest grade companies I've seen, at least. Bear in mind I usually go for like producing or like close to production, so I'm like looking at these as like a riskier bet. Like, should you read into this company? Their CEO transformed a company called Eli Gold from a $6 million market cap company to a $300 million market cap royalty company. And the president of the company, called Mora, has 15 years of experience in the mining and exploration sector, where she's been part of bringing projects into commercial production. The vice president of exploration has 14 years of experience in gold and base metals and lithium, and has spent time in the Red Lake the Red Lake camp area for Gold Corp. And like basically everyone or most of the people in this company is either a geologist, geoscientist, or they have experience in the mining sector, which is tremendous. Another director has 24 years of experience in the mining sector and was the co-founder, CEO and director of Magna Mining. So like this company seems very promising. It has tremendously high grade gold, but bear in mind it's not producing. Let's go over to the next one. The next one on the list is metallic. We are going to first start with the fact that they have a resource. Bear in mind it's inferred. As you can see here, that's inferred. They have about total 1.3 billion pounds of copper, 17 million ounces of silver, about 121,000 ounces of palladium, and 91,000 of platinum, and some gold. Why on earth should you care about this company? Newmont is invested in this company, where they own approximately 9.5% of the company. 10% of the company is owned by Eric Sprott, and it has infrastructure, power, or close by the highways and railways, and also close to a smelter. Metallic metals. There are like some screenshots from the presentation. So they are continuously exploring for more resources. And let's talk about the management team. Like the CEO has 35 years of experience. In that time frame, he has a track record of exploration, discovery, and project advancement through feasibility at least. And was a co-founder of Nova Gold, which is a massive gold company. The lead geologist has 15 years of experience specifically with these world-class gold, copper, and silver system. Exploration vice president has 30 years of experience in exploration industry, specifically focused on these kind of like copper and gold structures, and he has had senior roles with BHP, Barrick, and so forth. So this company, it seems very interesting. It has already a resource. It's invested. It has some of the best investors in the mining sector supporting this company. It seems very interesting. Let's go to the next one. And the next one on the list is Midnight Sun Mining. Now, why on earth is this interesting? I found out about this company from they had an interview with Doug Casey on his channel, a second appearance on the show. It seems a very promising company. As you can see here, there are some screenshots from, this is an exploration company in Zambia, which is in Africa. And here you can see they are close by some massive copper producing companies in the region, Barrick, First Quantum, and so forth. And they are obviously exploring, and they have a little resource, as you can see there, with the maiden mineral resource at the Dumbwa target. You can see that 2.3 million tons of indicated resource at 1.4 grams of copper. I'm just going to pause it out so you can read if you want to. But it seems very interesting. As you can see there, it obviously has a low drill cost at 160 USD. So they are surrounded by premier gold or copper producers and operators. The thing is, why is it also interesting is that Zambia has 70% of the exports are from mining, which means they have an enormous incentive to treat the mining companies with like respect and try to encourage more production and like mining and so forth. The fact that, as you can see there with Barrick, they have a 1.6 billion tons of copper. Right next to it, First Quantum has a 1 billion tons. And then right under now, they have another project with 1 billion tons of copper. The major projects. And obviously, apparently Zambia is very known for like average size of projects at billions of tons average compared to global, where it's in the hundreds of millions rather. And then apparently the capex is much lower in Zambia compared to other countries. So that's very interesting. And the fact that the geologist has 25 years of experience in sub-Saharan Africa area in specific sulfide copper areas. And he's also been a former exploration manager at Barrick and for Freeport McMoran. So let's go talk a little bit more about the management team. The CEO has 45 years of experience in finance and mining sector, been a part of trying to identify high potential grassroots and brownfields projects and advancing them and develop them to production or M&A, where he has had success as Petaguila, Pellas Gate, Fire Creek and Toy Yabe, apparently. And obviously the COO is from Zambia, which has 25 years of experience as a geologist in sub-Saharan Africa too, where he's worked with Dryden Gold's operation in Lumwa, as you can see there. That's the project right next to this company. So they have experience with literally the same, or like one of the management team, like the Kevin Bonnell, has literally worked at Barrick's mine, which is literally right next to Midnight Sun. As you can see there, the Barrick Lumwa is right next to Midnight Sun's Solvay's project. So this company, it seems very promising. Bear in mind, it's high risk. So let's go over to the next one. And the next one on the list is Silver North Resources. Now, why on earth is this interesting? Apparently, they are fully funded with exploration, at least, from 2026 till 2027, which is very nice. And obviously, look at this. Look at the high-grade silver at these projects. Or like the project. Obviously, like it's miscolored a little bit, just for like fair use, you know. And obviously they are in the Yukon, which is one of the hottest exploration jurisdictions on the planet. It has tremendously high-grade silver. Like we said, they are fully funded with exploration, at least this year and next year, adjacent to like large silver producers. And the fact that they just look at that enormously high-grade silver. Imagine if they could actually find something like into a proper resource. So apparently with 2026 they will continue to drill. They are apparently going to commence late Q1, so like late March, and with like airborne geophysics, 2 drills for 4 to 5 months. So just bear in mind though, this is like probably the riskiest of all the companies on this list. But bear in mind, if they find something, let's not forget that. This CEO has over 25 years of experience as a geologist in the mineral and exploration industry, where he's worked in Alaska, which is very close to the Yukon area. VP in exploration has 30 years of experience in mining mineral exploration, where he's worked for companies such as Rio Tinto and Inmet Mining. Very experienced team, where one of the directors have a bachelor's degree in mining engineering from Western Australia. So I think this company seems very interesting. Bear in mind, high risk, high potential reward if something were to come out of this. But look at that enormous grade. So I think there could be some upside. And I really like Alaska and the Yukon area and these things. So this company could perhaps, if they find something over time. Let's go over to the final company on this list, which will be Emperor Metals. And then the final company on this list is Emperor Metals 4. Why is this interesting? Not only are they using AI to make things more efficient, they have very interesting investors in this company. Some of their investors are Rick Rule and Rob McEwen. And 5.8% of the shares are owned by the management or insiders, and about 7% is owned by Rob McEwen. 44% is owned by high net worth individuals. This company has already a resource, or like an inferred resource, at their Du Kunes West project, where they have 1.4 million ounces of gold at 1.7 grams per ton. They obviously have another project too, which is called La Pelletier, which is a smaller company, but they have a historic resource of about 389,000 ounces in indicated. And then in inferred, they have 137,000 ounces at their project, which apparently was not too far off production, apparently, where the project already has some infrastructure. And there is a potential for a pre-production for this company with La Pelletier. This is apparently the closest one to production, where there's already been used $70 million in prior infrastructure costs. For 2026 is going to drill more, where apparently 105,000 meters have been drilled. The project, Lac Pelletier, has a fully authorized underground extraction permit, which could enable production of up to 1,000 tons per day. And with their project being near development, there could be a way for them to start producing, or like revenue from dewatering the underground apparently, which was, and like it's high grade, and apparently they are fully funded for 8,000 meter of drill program at the major project. Du QNS has a 15,000 meter drill program which is on the way, and then a future one for like 8,000 meters. And Rick Rule invested in this company in 2025. The fact that they have infrastructure close by, and there are mines close by of Ignigo Eagle, McEwen Mining, El Dorado. There's railways, power lines, and water close by, and there's a highway. And what is also interesting is that they are using AI or machine learning to then improve their 3D model, trying to hit over 3 grams per ton of gold, which apparently increases efficiency, accuracy, and precision, and enhances like the overall picture of is there, or like a more accurate picture. Where they've successfully utilized this tool at the Du QNS project, where it improved visualization and for them to communicate what is actually there, to interpret the data and generate a more precise model. Very interesting. It seems like one of the few, if not the only company I've seen of interest that has utilized AI, at least as of now. So with that, that's the companies I have found very interesting. I'm not currently invested in any of these as of right now, but they seem very interesting, and bear in mind all of this is high risk kind of thing. So bear that in mind, these are like more speculations than investments. But anyway, I hope you have thoroughly enjoyed this. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace!